What is going on, guys?
What's up, everyone?
Here we are, brand new episode. It is Monday.
It's Monday. It's
6 a.m.
Episode 11.
Oh my gosh, 11 weeks? Bro, that's insane. That's like
freaking
a
weeks.
huge chunk of life. That's
That
a lot.
is. You've been with us for over 2 months now.
That's crazy.
Kind of crazy.
You've been improving over those 2 months.
We hope so.
Mental health's getting better. You're getting stronger. You're getting smarter, faster.
Everything's going good.
Yep, that's what we like to hear.
So today's episode, before we get into telling them what the fee is, because we got to do that.
We got to do that.
Today's episode's going to be all about routines. So we're going to be talking about what a routine is, how to get a routine started, and why it's important, at least in our opinion.
Yes.
So, Nick, I'll throw it to you for the fees.
There's a fee. Now, this is no monetary fee. If this is the first time you're here listening to the show, let's talk for a sec, all right? If we bring any sort of value to you, if you smile, if you laugh, if you learn something new, if we change your perspective about anything at all,
Anything.
all right? Go tell somebody. We grow this show by word of mouth,
Word of mouth, baby.
Word of mouth. So, anything at all. If we even make you, breathe smarter, I don't know.
If you breathe while watching the show.
Yeah, if you breathe while watching the show and you think about it and we helped you do that, there you go. Go drink some water. If you drank some water after I told you that, go tell somebody about the show.
Tell someone.
We grow by word of mouth.
Word of mouth, baby. All right.
So,
I'm ready
actually,
to go.
one more thing I wanted to bring in a little story today before we started this episode, right?
Okay.
I think the fans would find this interesting. So yesterday at work, right, one of my coworkers, she was talking to me and kind of talking about the future. This kind of relates to the last episode. She was talking about college. She's like, she's about to go into college. She's like, I'm kind of scared. I was like, why are you scared to go into college? She's like, I'm scared I'm going to be, unhappy. And so this is my word of advice for everyone out there. If you're scared of being unhappy in college, this is what I told her. I was like, you shouldn't let your circumstances be the thing that make you happy. You should let internal drive be the thing that makes you happy. And she was dumbfounded after I said that. I was dumbfounded after I said that.
That was good. That's a good response to that.
I think I changed her perspective. I hope I changed some other perspectives, but that's the one thing I wanted to say is don't let your circumstances be the thing that makes you happy. Be the one who makes yourself happy.
Yeah. I think a lot of people get caught up in the circumstances, instead of actually focusing on the true thing that's making them unhappy, which is just their anxiety and stuff.
Exactly.
All right.
So there we go. Anyways, let's jump into it.
All right. So I guess the first question that we're going to ask is, why do we bring up a routine? What's cool about that? Why would we want to do routines?
So humans are we're almost primed for routine.
Yeah,
it's biological. That's something you got to have in your system to keep functioning normally, right? And something that I think is really important is humans need to have a routine in order to have a stable mental health, right? That is going to help you a lot. Routine, having almost a predictable day will help you out a lot. Being in that constant lock-in, that grind, and knowing what's going to happen is totally going to boost your mental health, which in turn boosts your productivity and makes you a better person. And then it's just an infinite cycle of growth. So that's why we bring up routine here. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with the same thing I was going to say, the comment about it being human nature, right? Mm-hmm. It's something that all of us do, And you might not even realize it, but you probably have routines that you do every day. I feel a pretty common bad routine that a lot of people have, to get into it, is the phone thing.
First thing in the morning.
Thing in the morning.
I almost did it today. Phone. I literally almost did it today.
To be honest with you, I did it today. I try to break it, but it's
hard, bro.
When
it's
really
there,
hard. And I think the worst thing is when your phone's there and then you use it as your alarm.
Yeah.
I think low key that's the biggest
It's really
reason.
Bad.
So it's your alarm, so then you hit stop and then you grab your phone.
I'm holding it, yeah. That's literally what happened to me today. I woke up, alarm went off, walked over to it, turned it off, and I was just about to open it up and start responding to text messages and Instagram and stuff.
Yeah.
But I took a step back and I was like, yo, this is not how I want to start the day.
Exactly.
You got to audit yourself every morning.
Yeah.
So when you wake up, try this. Okay, actually, let me just throw in a little routine I do, right?
Okay.
When I wake up in the morning now, I've been trying to practice gratitude more. So when I turn off that alarm, what I did today, instead of going on my phone, stopped myself, literally sat next to my bed, and then said 3 things I was grateful for. Okay. Started off the day correct. Now it's sunny. I feel great. So
there you go.
Try that. That's a great routine. Go do things that you're grateful for.
Exactly. And I think, it's a good place to start. I think a lot of people think when they hear routine, it means it's going to be some really hard thing.
Brush your teeth at 6 a.m. Take a shower at 6:10.
Stagger everything in this complicated, everything has to have a time that you're doing it at. That's not what we mean. No. We're talking more about just things and habits that you kind of do throughout the day that are going to boost your productivity, boost kind of what you do.
Yeah.
And I guess I'll give a little example for me. And I think first good example was the phone one. But another one that I do that's a little bit more work, right? It's a little bit more, but it's
Okay.
not too much, and it really helps me out. It's
Wait,
actually
let me call it meditation.
No.
Oh, never mind.
it's journaling.
Oh,
Yeah.
the same thing, right?
So, I mean, kind of, in a way. It is kind of the same idea. So every day, instead of going on my phone in the morning like I used to do, I grab my journal,
Okay.
and I don't take my phone with me. Unless there's something really urgent that I need to take my phone with me for, I don't take my phone with me. Leave it upstairs in my room. I take my journal and usually like, the stuff I'd use to study like Japanese, because I do it in the morning now.
Yeah.
Because I found I'm a lot more like, I do it every day if I do it in the morning. So then I'll go downstairs and I'll journal. And it started being this thing where like it was hard for me to do. Like after like 5 days or so, I'd stop. But then the last 2 months, ever since I started doing it first thing in the morning, I found that I've done it every single day for like almost 3 months now.
Wow.
So like my journal went from being like only like a quarter full,
Mhm.
and now I'm already almost done with this first book.
Damn me up, bro. That's
So
actually.
it's pretty crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing that's really beneficial about it is it lets me kind of get out any tension or anxiety that I have starting the
Yeah.
day, right? It immediately starts off, I'm thinking about the things in my head.
Now you're like clear, right? You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm just writing everything down that's like distracting me, and I get it all on the page. So then it's like, okay, I don't have to worry about it anymore. And then I also, at the end,
I like that.
I do a little to-do list. Not anything
Ooh.
complex, but
The
I
mini
just kind of
power list.
Right.
Yeah.
Write the goals and things I need to get done. And usually if I write them down,
There
I
you
get them
go.
done.
I'm
you
pretty
know?
sure, isn't there like the actual science is if a human, you know, like you write down like a goal or something, it's like 50% chance higher that you'll complete it or some like percentage
I've
goes
heard
up.
something that like,
Yeah. I don't know the exact numbers, but I know there's some sort of science behind that. Like write down your goals in the morning, you know, write down some stuff. It really helps out. I make a mini power list every day, write down the stuff I got to finish, and then I check it off as I go, and my days are like 10 times more productive.
Yeah, for sure. It's for me, it's been something that's really changed kind of the way I look at things.
Yeah.
And it's helped me really digest a lot of the feelings I have, right? I think being young and 18 and hormonal and emotional,
Yeah.
sometimes
it's madness.
we let emotions get in the way a lot, right? So the
Oh,
whole
yeah.
goal of the journal is just to kind of let it go out there, so then I don't let it out in a different situation, you know? But so
Mhm.
that's kind of a big routine that I do, and it's one that wasn't initially ingrained in me, right?
Yeah.
I think when we think about routine, we think a lot about kind of like brushing my teeth,
Yeah.
you know, getting up and like washing
Super
my
like
face.
structured, rigid, like
And
yeah.
those are like routines that we do as humans, right? Like
Mhm.
you probably have a habit where you get up and kind of brush your teeth, wash your face. Those are all routines
Yeah.
too. And the cool thing about that is, I mean, those aren't negative, and they're basically positive. You're getting yourself ready. And what you can do is kind of build upon those and add upon those to build even better routines and habits, right? So it's like a lot of people say, I have a hard time doing it. But it's like, obviously you don't. You have routines that you're doing subconsciously. So what we're trying to do is make all of the like goals and things that we really want to get done every day,
Yeah.
and those habits that are going to be positive for us, we want to make those into like almost like our mind just shuts off and does them anyway. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yeah.
That's the ultimate goal. So now I think we can kind of jump into it, and it's why can a routine help you build discipline?
So a routine, you know, that continuous beating away, almost like, you know, cracking away at a rock, I guess, you know, with a pickaxe. Like that's the way I'm thinking about it right now.
Right.
Like that, the continuous effort of continuous effort of doing that, right? It's going to create like discipline, right? And the reason discipline is so useful is because it's going to apply to every single area in your life, and it's going to make you a better human. Like everyone knows that, right?
Right.
It's pretty much what we drive home here. But routine and discipline are extremely valuable to each other because they literally go hand in hand. Like routine is almost discipline. Like they're almost interchangeable. Like that's the way I
Yeah.
like to think of them, is that being disciplined in my routine every day is just the same thing as being like having my routine discipline building. If that, I don't know how to
Right.
word it, but like you get what I'm
Well,
saying,
like
right?
having a routine is having discipline.
Yeah, they're
basically.
almost the exact same thing. They cause each other, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
And like I think the more routine you build, like you said, the more disciplined you get. So it's like, to me, it's like the more that we can do to kind of build these healthy routines and like get rid of the negative routines,
Yeah.
the more we can be disciplined and goal oriented rather than
Mhm.
just kind of living off the phone,
Yeah.
right? And I want to give a little example. I want to give
We
a little
hate the
story
phone.
because this has been probably one of the most important things for me in terms of like growing substantially in the past like 6 months. So, audience, get ready, sit back. I'm going to give you a little
I'm
story.
gonna sit back and listen.
This is the story of Aiden. Okay, this is what's happened to me kind of in like the past year, and I've been thinking a lot about it because it's been almost a year since one of the big changing moments in my life happened. Right. So for me, COVID kind of hit us all. This was, 2 years ago now. And right around the start of COVID time, I got my first girlfriend.
He
Nick
did.
remembers that.
Yeah.
And we lasted for a good while, but it became a thing where it got unhealthy, right?
Mhm.
So in 2021, which was a little bit more than a year ago now, is when we ended things. In the beginning, it was really hard, right? It was difficult, and I felt like I needed to change and grow. But that was kind of the first stepping stone, right? Which is an important lesson that I'm going to keep kind of bringing back in the story, that sometimes like hard things and pain are the best way to grow, right?
Very much so.
They're the
Suffering,
best way.
pain leads to growth.
They're the best way, because like if you're sad and you're emotional, you can either kind of dig into the sadness and let it just affect you negatively, or build off of it and become more positive
let
and
it be
healthier
that catalyst for growth.
Exactly. So that happened, and to be honest, it hit me hard, but I was able to then kind of use it as that fuel to get me going, right? To get me
We just dapped up.
to get me into a more positive mindset, right? And as I did that, it was really good. And, we did a lot of things over the summer. I think I grew a lot, started going to the gym. Haven't been doing that as much, but hey,
We'll get him there
fine.
soon.
We'll be back in the gym. But
He
the
will
main
be
thing
back.
is that mentally I grew a ton,
Yeah.
because I realized that not everything is about what kind of my high school mind thought it was about, right? About, having a girlfriend and having fun and playing video games. A lot of those things changed for me in those 6 months, right? And coming into 2022, I got a new job, and things changed a bunch. Made new friends, and had a lot more things and people that I needed to satisfy in
It's a
terms
new
of
season,
just like,
Yeah.
like there's a lot more my social battery was getting drained, to be honest with you. And I wasn't very used to it. And what it was doing was it was breaking down my routines a bit. I started going out later to kind of fill the social battery and doing things with people more, because I felt bad saying no.
Yeah.
Right? So as this was happening, and as I was growing and I was changing a lot with this thing, I think socially I got even better. I improved, and I've become even more comfortable meeting new people, right? It's always been a thing for me that sometimes meeting new people can be hard. So it was great in that regard, but it was breaking down my routines, and I was feeling really crappy about it. And I hadn't really noticed it for a bit, but then recently, it was actually like last week, we were going to record, and then I got this meningitis shot, and it messed me up, bro. Meningitis shot messed me up, right?
I remember.
And we didn't record, and I just sat
got
all
messed up.
day because I wasn't feeling good. But then what happened is the day after, I felt so unmotivated, because what happened was I sat there and I dug back into the sadness and the depression of just kind of being there, just kind of sitting there doing nothing.
Unproductivity.
Yeah. And what was crazy is I would know that normal me from the past would have let that just kind
ruminate.
And just collapse in on itself and become a bigger problem.
Mm-hmm.
And I did it. It was starting to culminate on me. It was starting to build, and I was getting more and more annoyed, more and more just kind of frustrated with life. And then it hit me. I was like, this ain't me, bro.
That's what I'm talking about, bro.
And the way I figured it out was from the routine that I had built, which was the journaling, right? I was writing it down. I was discussing and writing my emotions in my head. I was thinking about it. And I realized, like, I don't need to let this affect me. I don't need to let all these things kind of get in my way and distract me from my real goals.
Like I said in the beginning, it's the circumstances, right? It's conversation I had with her.
Exactly.
Don't let the circumstances control you. It's the internal drive, the internal motivation that you can literally control.
Right? And from that moment forward, I was like, I'm good. And it was completely shocking to me, because I talk about it all the time, that I've grown and changed, but you don't always see those results all the time, especially those things that are a little bit more like delicate and minute and kind of things that you don't see immediately all the time.
Noticed almost a shift, right?
Yeah. It's like I just kind of
the scale tilted.
You don't notice when it shifts, but then like when the challenges hit you, then you start reacting
totally reacted different. Yeah.
So I was like, whoa, this is awesome. And it felt good. And the main thing that helped me do it was my routine, right?
That's what I'm talking about.
I was so used to this routine that my head said, oh, we got to break the routine. Like, I'm annoyed, I'm frustrated, I'm sad, not feeling good. Right? And that was old me trying to get back into my head. And I said, nah, bro, these routines are important. This is what I have to do to be successful, and I'm going to keep at them.
Overcame it.
And there you go. So that, in my opinion, is why routines are some of the most important things for me and life-changing things for me.
Yeah.
And like, regardless of what you want your routines to be, you get to decide. That's the kind of cool part, right? Like you can build your own routine, have your own routine that you find enjoyable. Whatever you want to do, it's there for you to access, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And it's like kind of like the same thing, like a goal of mine is to learn Japanese, right?
Yeah.
So I could either just say, day to day, I'll figure out when I'm going to study, or I set a time right after I journal, I then study for 20 to 30 minutes. That's all I need. I can just, do a lesson or whatever. And I've improved majorly by just sitting down and saying every 20 minutes, 30 minutes, I'm going to write and I'm going to practice Japanese.
Yeah.
Right.
I think one kind of point I want to say for routines, a lot of people really get caught up in like doing this, like, got to be there. It's got to be perfect. I got to follow it. And I'm going to hate myself if I don't follow it. Right. I've been reading the book Atomic Habits. You also read that book. And one of the things he talks about is literally just showing up. Like, even if you do crappy job doing, like, let's take, for example, reading, right? Let's say you're trying to build the habit, the routine of reading every day, and you want to do like 20 minutes, right? Showing up is way better than not even reading at all. If you get there and read for 5 minutes and you only got through like 3 pages of your book or whatever, showing up and doing that part of the routine is going to be way better for your mental health than not even doing it at all.
Exactly.
So whatever routine you're trying to build, no matter how difficult it is, just show up every day. Make the effort. That's like casting, as he says, little votes towards the identity you want to build and become that better person. So show up, get that routine started, no matter how bad it is. Just make yourself do it, because those little incremental changes are going to pile up and you're going to become better.
For real. That book is full of knowledge.
That book is so good, man. Literally go read Atomic Habits.
Atomic Habits. If this stuff interests you and you want to get better at routines, that's a tiny book. It did not take long for me to read.
I'm almost done with it.
And it's so full of things. And
it is so good.
To kind of build off that, and something that also came from Atomic Habits, like in the first chapter or whatever, he gives this example, and I thought it was really cool, and it's one that I kind of keep remembering. It's about, he talks about photography class and how there's these two sets of students.
I read that a while ago.
Yeah, he splits he's talking about the professor split the class into 2 different groups, right? A group that was supposed to take, their goal was to take one photo that was the highest quality photo.
It was like a final project, right?
Yeah, it was a final project. And it was like, one group was, you could only take one photo, you can only submit one photo, and it's supposed to be like, but it's like quality over quantity, right? You can build the most perfect, beautiful photo.
Yeah.
And then there was the quantity group that was just like, take as many as you can. You're graded on how many you do, not quality, right?
Yeah.
So right now, think to yourself, answer the question in your head. Do you think the quality group would have the better photo or the quantity group? So when I was thinking,
the thing that blows everyone's mind. Yeah.
What I was thinking is like, it's got to be the quality group. Obviously, if you're taking one photo and it's going to be perfect, it's got to be perfect.
Yeah.
But what that study actually showed was that the people who were the quantity group had far better photos than the quality group. And the main reason why is the quantity group, first of all, was practicing every day.
Yeah.
They were doing it every day, trying different things, implementing different strategies.
Just showing up.
And just showing up. And that's kind of the whole thing where it's like, if you want to get really good at something, it's not necessarily about perfecting it and doing like it perfect one time. It's about being bad at it a bunch of times until you build the muscle memory where you're good at it, right?
Yeah.
It's just like anything. Like throughout my life, I didn't realize that truly everything, like getting good at everything happens the same way, right? Like regardless of what you want to do, the best way to get good at something is to fail at it 1,000,000 times.
Yeah. And then you'll eventually
get good at it.
Like, yeah.
Right? Like even with these podcast episodes, first episode, we didn't know what we were doing. We didn't know what's going on. Yeah. And like we had to figure it out in terms of like the photo quality, in terms of getting the video quality right, getting the audio quality right, getting everything. Now we're like this.
Flowing.
You know what I mean? And it comes from the repetition. We're here every week. We're doing it every week.
Showing up and making it work.
And that's what routines are all about.
Exactly.
Right? And it's crazy to think just how successful a routine can really make you be. But now that we've told them all about.
Actually, I got a good question.
Oh, okay.
So this kind of leads into routine, right?
All right.
Basically, the whole thing people want from routine is productivity, right? They want to boost the outputs of what their inputs are, right? That's what routine is for. But here's the thing that I think most people don't realize, and this is kind of like, this is what they say, the unsexy answer, right? I think most people should focus on their mental health first before they start focusing on that routine, right? So let me explain, right? Mental health is important, right? It's like key to everything. It's exactly how you're going to change your outputs, right? So many people are focused. They're caught up in the got to take my cold shower at 7 a.m. every single morning. I need to jump out of my bed, all this stuff, right? They're so focused on those like actual outputs, but instead of focusing on their mental health, right, and getting themselves stronger like internally and becoming better, they're never actually going to successfully get the change that they should be having. And I want to get your take on that. Like, what do you think about the whole growing mental health first and then figuring out routine? Like, I want to hear your take on that.
I like 90% agree. The reason I'm saying I like 100%. Mental health is the key to everything, right?
Let me hear it.
If you have mental health and you have a good mental stability and you feel good, everything becomes easier. 100%. But the one thing I'll say is I think a lot of time routines do help in building that mental health.
Okay.
Right? Like routines, by having some good small routines, that can really help you mentally. Even if it's something as simple as like doing my laundry and making it all folded and like doing all of these things just to make, or like cleaning my room or making my bed every time I get out of bed. These little things that don't really mean that much, right?
Yeah.
Like whether your bed's made or not doesn't really affect your sleep that well. But what it does is it makes you feel like you're starting your day, right? You got out of bed and you made your bed. Now you feel so much better about starting your day, right? You feel organized and mentally organized, right?
Okay.
So 100% mental health is like, yes, you need mental health and you need to be as mentally healthy as you can to be successful. Like people want to always search for these goals and these things that they're trying to get done. But if they're not ready mentally and like healthy mentally, it doesn't matter. They'll cascade back into a bunch of problems again because their mental health is crappy.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like basically to the dude who's watching this right now who is literally just realizing that he's getting caught up on things like way too much. Like what I'm saying is stop focusing on the exact technicalities of it and start focusing on the internal, you know? And once you start to like, I guess, heal yourself and grow from that, then you can start focusing on those technicalities because you have that stable base to work off of.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, yeah, you should have a routine, but if you want that routine to be like more successful, your mental health should be in check. You get what I'm saying?
100%.
And like routine and mental health are directly correlated. Like having a routine is going to boost mental health, but having a more successful routine and like growing more successfully is all about having stronger mental health. You get what I'm saying?
100%.
So like I just wanted to throw that out there for people listening because like a lot of people don't even realize that they're going to be unsuccessful because they haven't solved their own mental health issues.
Right.
And so that's why I just wanted to say that, like, go out there, make yourself mentally healthy.
Yeah, I think, and it was kind of like the story I told, right? To get into the next stage of my life, first thing I had to do is go through that breakup and heal mentally and mentally get way more healthy. Like, the biggest change I've seen in myself in the past year has not been physical change or monetary change or my level of women around me or my
zero
or my like a fancy car. Like that's not the change that I've seen, right? And the change that I'm proud of
he gets no women.
Okay, I get it, bro.
Sorry.
Hey, they're coming, all right? I swear the women will come.
Keep telling yourself that.
So the biggest change I've seen has been none of those things. It's been mentally being healthy, right? Instead of being sad that I got no women, I'm happy in the fact that I'm mentally healthy.
Down later in the line. But
and that's what I'm saying. When the women see me and they're like, dang, that guy's
he's fixed. He's got his stuff together.
He's smart. He's got his stuff together. He knows what he's doing, and he's mentally healthy and ready. They'll come.
That's actually facts.
That's facts.
I'm in like a similar area, you know, like I've been building up a bunch of mental health lately, right? And I haven't seen huge physical changes, huge monetary or like anything else, right? But like the main thing I've been focusing on is fixing my mental health and getting it just to like almost perfection, right? Like I'm chasing after my best possible self, and I've been super at peace with that and like growing a lot. And I'm seeing the areas that are past mental health, like the areas where I want to start growing monetary and like physical and everything else is starting to grow because I focused on the mental health. So like, that's the first step. Like
some people think it's like mental health isn't necessarily important because it's not as like easily, you can't see the progress as easily, right? But it's not like a growing bank account where you can watch your money grow or your size and your muscle mass, right? But mentally, it's the most important thing because it always comes back to like when you get hit with something that's mentally tough, if you're not ready for that, you collapse and you regress on those things that you're trying to improve upon. So really mental health is, and 100%, the most important thing. And if you want to get better, you want to improve your life,
There you go.
you got to improve your mental health.
Exactly. It takes like a month, honestly, to like get on the right track.
A month of like sitting there, like a lot of like, okay, to me,
Mm-hmm.
I see the biggest thing, like so many people in relationships that are negatively affecting them. I think that's like one of the biggest things, like
Like a romantic love.
romantic relationship. Like, and I know some people might be like, oh, just because you got no women, like
Yeah.
that's why you're saying that.
No,
like,
honestly,
nah,
you're
bro.
speaking facts.
I'm speaking straight facts here. The people
Yeah.
watching know. Almost always, the people I see that are mentally unhealthy are either hung up on not having someone,
Mm-hmm.
or they have someone and it's unhealthy.
Yeah.
Right. And it's
No.
100% the hardest thing. Right. And it's,
Yeah.
I'm like, if you just like, worked on yourself for a bit, you'd feel a lot better. Right.
That's what I'm saying.
And they don't want to. They don't want to focus on it. But the main thing is that you guys got to break past that. Right. You guys gotta
Exactly.
think about it. Like, relationships aren't everything. You have your whole life to build a relationship with someone.
Plenty of time.
And I don't mean like don't go have friends.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Or if a perfect girl comes up, obviously go date her.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or perfect guy, whatever. But my main point, I don't want to sound rude.
Yeah.
We got all people included.
We got all people.
Okay? But the main thing is that you have to focus on yourself before you can start focusing on the people that you're going to be building relationships
Exactly.
with. Because if you're not mentally there and ready, the people that you're trying to date aren't going to want to be with you.
Exactly.
You're going to be unhealthy, and maybe they like unhealthy and they're also really messed up mentally. But 9 times out of 10, it doesn't work that way.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
work on yourself and build those healthy habits before you start, trying to affect other people's lives and
Mhm.
become a routine in their lives.
Because like once there's I'm gonna get a little biblical here, right? But there's this thing that I learned where it was like there's this verse that talks about you shouldn't try to help a guy who's got a speck of dirt in his eye when you have literally a plank of wood in your eye. Because how are you
Right.
gonna help him when you're literally suffering so much yourself
Yeah,
that you can't even like fix yourself? How would you fix someone else? Like that's the whole
exactly.
thing. Like, fix yourself first and then go start helping other people.
Exactly.
Like literally mental health right there. Like just start working on yourself, start growing. Like if you fix yourself first, everything else will follow.
For real.
Everything else will. Like I'm gonna prove it. Give me like 9 months, I'm gonna be on top of the world, bro.
We will be. But to kind of finish it off, because
Mhm.
we kind of
Went a little off track, yeah.
We're just gonna quickly talk about kind of like how to start building a routine,
Mm-hmm.
and I think we can both just kind of give examples of maybe like a routine or two that we built,
Yeah.
and kind of how that worked.
Like what was the first routine you kind of started off with?
So I think, I gotta think. For me, like a really successful routine. I'll talk about my journaling again because
Yeah.
that one took a while for me to build, and I think it's really like a routine I'm proud of.
Okay.
Right. So for me, journaling has always been a thing that I kind of wanted to do. I bought a journal like 8 months ago,
Mhm.
and to start, I would journal like 2 days in a row, 3 days in a row, and then I'd stop. Right. One problem that I noticed is that I was doing it at nighttime instead of in the morning. And what that did was I would get home and I was really tired, and it pushed like a lot of time back. I'm too tired. You know what I mean?
I'll do it later.
Right. So one of the first things with a routine, and it's kind of what something that is talked about in Atomic Habits as well, is make it easy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Make it easy. For me, when I wake up in the morning, there's not a ton of things that I need to do right away. Right. So it's easy for me to just grab that journal and write some stuff down. Right. It's not very mentally tiring. My brain is just getting out of sleep, so I'm not like mentally fatigued at all. It's really easy to just start and just write some stuff down. So for that habit, it makes it really easy, right? Another habit that it's not like a daily thing, but I don't want it to be a daily thing, is I go on a lot of runs in the morning. And once again, I get up, I do my journal, and I feel kind of mentally ready and ready to go. And then from there, I already wrote in my journal today, I'm going to run, and I go do it, right? Because
Yeah.
there's not a lot of resistance there. I'm not already tired or something,
Mm-hmm.
and that just activates my brain even more and gets me super awake.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For me, one of the first routines that I kind of started off with, this was before I even started my self-development journey. I like took cold showers. It's just like a fun challenge. And then I stopped, but then I picked it back up after certain life events. And then, I was on that self-development journey. But one of the first things I kept doing was taking cold showers. It was really hard, right? Because like
Right.
taking cold showers sucks. But like doing that, building that routine of consistently getting there, just taking a cold shower, I was like, this feels great. Like, it helped me out a lot. And continually doing that, I was like, dude, I want to start adding in more things. And like, just starting from that, taking a cold shower, you don't have to do cold showers, not what I'm saying here, but continually doing something that was kind of hard made me want to do more things that were hard. And I was like, I'm going to build a routine. Started doing stuff that I enjoyed, stuff that like made me feel mentally healthy, started working out a lot, started just enjoying like peace by myself and taking cold showers and journaling, meditating, all that good stuff.
Right.
And like continually doing that and doing things that made me feel clean and on the right track. Like, you know exactly what you got to do to make yourself feel good. Do that stuff and start like doing the things that push you in the right direction. Create a routine from that. Like, that's literally all it takes. Like, you know exactly what you got to do. Start doing that stuff and then make it easy. Like he said, start off small, show up every single day, make it easy, and just continue with it. It's really simple. Don't overcomplicate it.
Yep. And I think the first thing that you're trying to build the first routine for yourself. Like, after you build one routine, it becomes a lot easier.
Yeah, you start chaining everything together.
Yeah, everything starts to chain. But for the first one, this is like the biggest advice I want to give because I failed in this multiple times. The make it easy thing is so important.
Crucial.
Right?
Literally crucial.
And for my example, it's like if you're smoking cigarettes and you just try to stop all at once, right? Like, a lot of people who smoke cigarettes end up not being able to stop cold turkey, right? It's kind of a similar way of like, in order for you to just either stop doing something negative or start doing something positive that's hard, you can't just like cold break and start it immediately, right? Starting at max difficulty, you're
hard.
gonna stagger and fall.
You're literally gonna fail. Yeah.
And it most likely will fail. And for an example I kind of give that I wrote down, I kind of forgot I wrote this because I wrote this thing a while ago. But for example, I think a big problem that a lot of us have, I hear this from almost everyone our age, is TikTok and how distracting it is.
It is bad.
Okay?
It's really bad.
It's a bad habit. So there's kind of two ways to get rid of a TikTok habit, right? If you have a really bad habit of sitting there watching TikToks forever, there's two ways to get rid of it, right? You can either delete TikTok and just stop watching it completely, or you can try to limit yourself from it. So you can say, I'm not going to watch TikTok until at the end of my day, I've already done everything I need to do. I've come home from work. I did all of my school things, all of the things I'm trying to get done. And now I can relax.
Enjoy some TikTok.
And now I can enjoy it.
Yeah.
Right. So that's kind of just building upon our habits and stuff. And one thing I want to say one more.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it's always easier to do the hardest things in the morning than trying to do the hard things at the end of the day.
When you're tired and everything. Yeah.
So like, start off the day with the hard things. Like,
start your day right.
And you start your day right as well.
Exactly.
So I start by doing the things that are hard and difficult, or the things that I might not necessarily want to do. And I stagger into, then I like kind of go to school, and then I go to work, and then I get home, and it's usually kind of late. And then from there I can relax and, watch some Naruto.
There you go.
There you go.
So here's the last tip of advice I want to say. If you're trying to look to make a really easy routine, you want just like actual practical advice here, like super easy thing. Every morning when you wake up, don't go on your phone. Just say 3 things you're thankful for.
There you go.
Start that tomorrow morning.
If you can't think of a routine to start,
that is the first thing you should start with. Yeah, do it tomorrow.
If you're watching this right now and you finished up this whole episode,
go do that tomorrow.
Go
do it right now. Actually,
do it right now.
Yeah, go figure out 3 things
start
you're thankful
it today.
For. Make sure it's like legit stuff. Don't be like, I'm thankful I can breathe. Like, that's cool and all, but like, go find something you're actually thankful for.
And just think for a little bit.
Yeah.
Too many people get caught up in their phones.
There you go. So that's your first practical step. But I think that covers pretty good chunk.
I think so.
I think that's good stuff.
I think we've given you guys all we can about routines. And we hope that this helps you kind of at least start looking towards routines, start wanting to build routines, and
grow that mental health.
I think that's the big point of today.
Thing, yeah. Fix that mental health.
If you take anything away from this episode,
it's mental health.
That mental health is the most important thing, and these routines are going to help you do that.
There you go.
Boom.
All right. Go do some greatness this week. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode.
We do. We hope you enjoyed.
Yeah.
Get some great stuff done.
Go have a fantastic routine.
Let's get it.
And go tell your mom that you love her.
Yes.
There you go.
And that you're grateful for your mom.
And you're grateful for your mom.
And LeBron James.
LeBron. I don't know about that one. All right. See you guys later. Peace.